What's up, everyone? I'm Alex,
Beto.
and this is episode 37 of The Move.
Hey, are we still gonna do the thing where we put something at the beginning? We were doing it for a little while. I don't remember though.
All right. What's up, Beto? We're back, bro. We're back for another episode. Keeping our word
How's it
week
going?
by week,
Week by week,
day by day.
it feels like man, the weeks are just flying by. It feels like we just did an episode like 2 days ago, man. Damn.
Yeah. Anyways, bro, this is our first move, or not the first move, but this is like our first official move subject that we're gonna be discussing. And yeah, so what's the move today? Finding a work life balance. I feel it's something that a lot of us struggle in the present day, and I feel that like it's just something we could talk about. I think it'd be a good starting point for our podcast, because I think even like the whole work life balance thing had a lot to do with why we stopped the podcast for a little bit too.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Do you think there's any specific reasons why right now you wanted to touch on work-life balance, or is it just like,
Well, yeah, I just thought like I kind of just like we were just talking about it at work, and I was like thinking about it, and I feel like in the past 2 years I have had to think about work life balance and how to like not like bring work home, or take my home life into work. I feel like just balancing that, and a lot of people like a lot of misconceptions for work life balance is like, oh no, you just like you spend the equal amount of time for everything, like work 8 hours, whatever you want to do 8 hours. No, like it's a misconception. I'm calling it misconception about work life balance, but I feel it's supposed to be like your personal balance as to like what you're
hmm
comfortable with, and what you're like. You're not forcing anything, and now you're not forcing your time onto anything, and you're like, oh, like what do I gotta do
and
this,
then it's like, what kind of balance do you want too? Because you can easily be like, is it, are we gonna 50-50 this shit, or like is it gonna be like, maybe I want to give most of my time to work, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's like a 60-40 or 70-30.
Yeah,
Some people are like that,
yeah.
but not me, but
But yeah, no, I just feel like that's a real big thing in today's day and age. Like we all feel obligated to put work first, and like to have work consume our whole life, which work does consume a big part of our lives based off what we decide to do. But I feel like also you need to make sure you have that time for yourself to kind of relax, do what you want to do, play video games, go for a walk, hang out with your girl or man,
work out. A lot
work
of people
out.
are working out.
So, and those are some signs of, well, not those aren't some signs, but some signs of like poor like work life balance is like insomnia, fatigue, health issues. Let me see,
I mean,
burnout.
yeah, yeah, burnout especially, I
Burnout
think.
is a big one.
But I think when you're trying to find the right balance, you're just gonna be stuck in like, what am I really doing
Mm-hmm.
at work? Or especially now, I think like when you're looking for a job, you don't a lot of people now, like, you look for it to have the benefits of like time off, or to have like a more lenient workplace where, like, you want a place that will let you have your time off, or like will allow you to travel and do all these other things,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't make a big fuss about it. That's a big thing for a lot of people now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really fortunate too. Like in the job I'm at right now, is that they're really like lenient on that stuff. Like, hey, like I used to be scared to ask, like, hey, could I get some days off, or call it, even calling in sick. Here they're like, yeah, go ahead, like take the time off, like. So of course sometimes you might not get paid for it because it's unpaid time off, but like a lot of places would make a big fuss about that. Like, hey, what the hell? Like, where are you going? And you're like, it's none of
hmm
your business. So I think finding that in a job is really important, and I mean, it's hard when they offer you the job, but they're like, oh hey, but you know,
And I
well,
think at some point it depends on the person because I mean, a lot of people are they're more willing to like sacrifice their time off if they're like, oh, my boss says I can't have
mm-hmm.
this time off, then whatever, I'm not gonna get it. And then there's people like me who don't get the time off, and then I'm like, you know what, I quit. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that was crazy, and I kind of learned a little from you too. Like, it's important to like stand your ground with that stuff. You know, the like a boss doesn't have to like if you even if you call in sick, a boss shouldn't like have to ask you like, hey, what do you have or what do you come down with or what are your symptoms? They can't. You call
Send
in
me
sick,
proof
they're
of your
supposed to be like,
meningitis
oh,
right now. You know.
they're supposed to be like, hey, all right, get better. But a lot of people just get like intimidated by the whole boss, asking you. You're just like, shoot, if I don't answer, this fool's gonna fire me. But legally, they can't.
Hmm. Yeah, I think just like how you were saying, I think my last couple of jobs have been pretty good on it too.
Mm-hmm.
My current one, I'm an intern, so I mean, they're really obviously lenient because they know I'm a student first. But
Mm-hmm.
like even before that, my jobs, well, I think my last two jobs, they were really like, I just text them, I'm like, hey, I'm not coming in tomorrow, and they're like, all right, bro, like
Yeah.
that's it,
Yeah.
like.
I remember I felt like, oh, you're not gonna get mad at me. They're like, dude, we don't care. Just go.
Yep.
I'm like, all
Hmm.
right, nice. Say less. Um,
Yeah, because I mean that having a job that doesn't give you balance between your working and your home life, it's gonna cause a lot of stress, and it's gonna have impact like on your like relationship with your significant other and your friends, and then even
family.
like at work, what you're gonna get done
Mm-hmm.
because everything correlates. So
Yeah.
like if your boss doesn't give you time off and you're burnt out, you're gonna go home, you're gonna be pissed as fuck, you're gonna get into an argument with your significant other or whatever, and then now because you're arguing with your significant other, you're gonna go back to work the next day and you're not gonna be productive because you're gonna be thinking, oh my God, like I'm stressing about my significant other. So
Mm-hmm. Then it just mixes and blends, and then it gets all crazy, and then it affects your work, and then you fall behind, and then all this stuff. Like, it's a domino effect. I feel, and
hmm.
that's one thing I feel I learned when I was a manager at Jersey Mike's.
Hmm.
I remember like thinking all the time when I got home. I don't know why. Part of me made me feel like special, like talk about like work to my family and shit. And I remember like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do about this big order coming up, or what the schedule. This man called off, and then my uncle like one he looked at me one time. He was like, man, he's like, forget about that. Like, you're not on. Are you on the clock right now? I'm like, no. He's like, don't think about it then. Like, it doesn't matter right now.
Hmm.
He's all, unless something pops up, then yeah, deal with it. But right now, like, you're with family. Spend time with family. Leave work at work.
Hmm.
And I was like, I had to think about it from then on, and I think I little by little I chopped at it, and I kind of learned how to balance myself between work and what I do at home, and I felt a
Yeah.
lot better about it too.
Yeah, bro. That deserves a round of applause, bro. Hmm. Hmm.
No.
I forgot I had that. But it still does. Like, you had to realize, even though it took your uncle to tell you, you had to be
Mm-hmm.
there and like get that awakening.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What about your work life balance? How do you feel? Is there a moment that you kind of had to think about it, or do you think you've always had kind of like a good balance between it?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I always had like I already said earlier, like I didn't get the time off that I had already been accepted for, and then I left
Mm-hmm.
because it got away from me like the last second over something that's not like my fault. It was the company's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Target, but like So I know I always never really like I don't know, maybe who it could have been. I don't know. I feel like I always kind of knew that work isn't life.
Mm-hmm.
And then especially like with that, like I would understand if it was more of like my career, but at the time it was like I said, it's a big company, corporate, um, like Target. Those fools, they don't care about me,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
you're just a number to
what
them.
do like, yeah, like you guys messed up, so now you guys need me to stay for the days that I requested off. And I'm like, dude, I'm like I'm a 20-year-old, college student. I don't really give a like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like leaving, and that's it. Like you guys are gonna be fine. You guys are gonna go hire another fucking 18-year-old next week. Like you'll be fine.
And the
And
cycle
then I'm
repeats
just
itself.
like it's fine. And especially that kind of job specifically. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if it was a more important career, you think about it. But like for my case, it wasn't. There's no second thought. Like I'm like, dude, you guys can go find somebody else, and I can go find something else
Mm-hmm.
similar to that easy. You know?
Yeah, and there won't be another thought about it either. They're not gonna be like,
Mm-mm.
"Damn, we miss Beto." They're just like, "All right, they got this new guy coming in." But yeah, along with that, I feel. Let me see. Ooh, actually, I think also your relationships have a lot to do with that. Um, like, well, just your personal like balance and stuff. I feel if
Yeah.
you're surrounded by a lot of people who kind of make you think about work or kind of make you feel bad about like I don't know where I'm going with this actually. I'm trying to I had something and then I'm kind of like um
So I mean, what do you mean? So like, let me see. Like, I think it depends on what your relationships are with people, or with your friends and your family and everybody that like I don't know, like so like I think it's important to have people that understand you and don't force you to be somebody you're not.
mhm.
So I mean, like you can easily have I don't know, you can easily like have somebody that you don't want to be with somebody that is like you coming home from work and they're like, "Hey, um focus like or like how was that? Like are you close to a promotion?" Like it
Yeah.
shouldn't always
Did
be
you get
like
it yet?
that, you know? You know?
Mhm.
It should just be like, how was your day at work? Like, if you want to tell me about it, tell me about it. And if not, like, let's talk about something else. And that goes for
Yeah.
anybody. It doesn't have to be like a significant other. It could be.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a like a real big cultural thing too. Like I feel,
Hmm.
and that's something that I'm really happy my parents learned about. Because I feel when I was younger, they were like, as soon as you're 15 and a half, you're working, like you're gonna start working. And I started, working at the pool, started doing all this stuff, which I'm happy because it gave me a lot of experience, and I'm actually kind of grateful that it happened. But I remember I had worked at the warehouse with my dad, and that job was pain in the ass. I mean, you're just moving boxes to emptying trailers out and stuff. And I remember like if I like, well, you've worked in a warehouse before, you know how it feels after like a hard day and your body just done. You don't want to do anything. You're waking up at like 4 in the morning, and I remember there were some days where I'm like, I can't go to work. I'm either tired or even if I'm sick. My dad, he went to work about an hour later, so he would see me still there. He would wake me up like, hey, you going to work? I'm like, nah, I'm like, I think I'm not feeling good. He's like, really? Like you're gonna miss work? I'm like, come on. But
Hmm.
later on, I think he kind of understood like, okay, well, like I had to look out for myself because I ended up injuring my back at that job because I was working myself too hard for no reason.
Hmm.
Um, and then when I left, I think he was a little upset too. And I was like, I'm working at Jersey Mike's, and I'm a new application. He was like, why though? Like, why are you gonna work over there? I'm like, I, it's just another opportunity, to grow. So, and then finally, when I moved, I think when I finally left that little circle of like where my dad, because I want like where my dad knows people there and stuff. Once I got out of that, I feel like I was able to make more of myself and be more confident in the work
Hmm.
I do. And then, of course, that's when I learned about the whole, I moved up in that ladder, whatever. But um, yeah, and now they don't really second. Well, I'm out of the house, but they don't really second guess what I
Yeah.
do anymore. They're just like, oh, just don't be stupid. That's the only thing they
Yeah,
tell
pretty
me.
much.
Like,
Yeah.
just don't be dumb.
I think yeah, this is like what you were saying. It's a big cultural thing. Um, like I think a lot of people like I don't know. I grew up in a household that you see, and then like you see with just your surrounding family, like it's all like work, 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 work. Like we need to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we have. That's what we have is work, and it's like because we need money, we need this, and we need that, and like so I think I grew up around that, but then I had somebody like my brother who was always like, yeah, our goal is to not have to work as much as our parents did.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like my dad puts in, when I was younger, he was putting in like hours. It's like probably like what, I don't know, like a lot. Like
Yeah.
probably like 100 hour weeks or like week and a half. And you kind of see that and you're like, man, like that's dope. You can do that shit, but like also your foot always hurts, your
Mm-hmm.
back always hurts. You like
Yeah.
you know. And I think you see that and I'm just like I don't want that. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. And then like you said our parents grow out of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some maybe don't, but like a lot of them start to grow out of it a little bit cuz it's like I'll tell them like, "Oh, like because sometimes like they'll still be like, "Oh, how come you're not working like 100 hours a week or some shit?" And I'm like, dude, because I get paid like more, like a better wage, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to like be there all the time. No, I'm not talking right now. Right now, I'm an intern. Right now, whatever. But like when I had other jobs, and they'd be like, oh, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're getting you know 40 hours a week, but why is it not 80? And I'm like, bro, like I'm good. Like I
Yeah.
think I think we're good. Like I think we're good over here. And but like now they you get better and they just kind of like at least with me, I'm just like mind your business. Like I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like what you said. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, bro, good shit, bro.
You don't have the
I do,
the
but since I'm recording on this screen, I don't want to. I have to like move my mouse and it pops up everything, so I don't want to. Yeah, there you
there
go.
you go.
There you go. Thank you. All right. So let me see, man. What are some things we could do about this, man? What if you're having trouble with work life balance? What are some things that you feel could help someone? Possibly like.
If you're if you're having trouble finding work life balance, I think you have to separate. I don't know. Like I think if you're really struggling with it, I think if you're younger and you're struggling with it, you need to understand when even right now when I'm not at my internship, I don't like I my notifications are off or my all my work stuff. Like I don't
Hmm.
any most of the stuff I sometimes I'll like go and check if it's like maybe important or whatever, but like I typically like I won't even respond to it until the next time I'm in on the clock.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be. Like I don't think anybody should go home having to worry about what they're doing. And that's just me. I don't
Hmm.
know. Even when I was like maybe working other jobs and like maybe like retail or something, like you definitely should not be going home. Like you should not have been going home wondering about how what you're gonna do about that sandwich tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Like you just go home as soon as you get off, you go home, take a shower, and you just chill.
Chill.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. And the whole what if thing, I think that's a big thing that um, someone I know we used to like they would think about like, what if this happens tomorrow? What if this happens tomorrow? And I'm like, you can't be thinking about that. Like you gotta,
Mm-mm.
that's. And I read, I don't know where I read it. There's even saying 80% of the things that you say what if about in the future don't happen. Like it's 80, like they're not gonna happen. It's highly unlikely that they're gonna happen. So, and that's what I used to do a lot. So I had to cut off. I had to stop every time I catch myself saying, "What if this person comes in and argues with me, or what if this person says this?" And then you see him the next day. You're like, "Oh, what's up? What's up?" That's it. Like there's nothing
Mm.
happens, or whatever happened, and it's under the bridge, water under the bridge, water past. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but yeah, going back to what you said about your phone and like kind of turning it off, I feel like technologies does have a big role to play in our work life balance as well, because I do feel that, and I'm gonna sound like an old head right now, but sometimes unless that's like your form of like constant entertainment, but I feel like I sometimes get lost in time, like scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, or YouTube, or not YouTube really, but um I feel like I'll,
Yeah, I
I'll be
think
scrolling.
you
Next
have
thing you know,
to.
oh sorry, what's up?
No. So like you were gonna say you were like you're scrolling and now you're out of time.
Yeah, now you're like, oh shit, it's 9 o'clock. Got a shower. Time to go back to sleep.
Hmm.
I didn't even have time to do that thing I wanted to do. I didn't have time to hop on the game. I didn't have time to watch this movie with my girl. So also thinking about that, like the people in your life, you're living with someone. Hey, let's see if we gotta they want to do some, or I mean, unless you don't want to do anything, but that's all you. That's a you problem right there.
Hmm.
But um, I feel
So
like
I
that's
think people also like how you just said right now, you have to make time for things. And at that point, it's it's finding a balance between work and life and then making sure that whatever you're doing in life doesn't become a chore.
yeah.
So like you have to like people just have to understand like you are gonna make time for the things that you want to do.
Hmm.
If you want to if you want to read books, you got to make time to read a book. Like you have to. Like
Hmm.
you can't just sit there and be like, "Oh, I'll start reading right now and hop on TikTok," because now your time's gone.
Yeah. Then you're done. Hop on TikTok. You're
Or
done.
yep, yeah, like all of it. Like if you want a game, you have to make time for it.
Hmm.
You if you wanna like spend time with your significant other, you have to make time for it.
Yeah.
Everything has to get time made for, and that's what it is. It's not like anything. I don't know. You just have to find the balance of not making it seem like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because then, if you do that, you're gonna open up your book and you're gonna be like, "Ugh, like
Have to read
I have to
again.
get through at least like 15 pages or
Hmm.
something." Or like you're gonna get on the game and you're gonna be playing. You're gonna be like, "Ah, "Do I even want to do this?" Like
Yeah.
or
No.
whatever,
Real shit.
And
And that's
so
actually.
it just comes,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, that's actually something
Nah, go ahead.
yeah. I had to, even like for games. I used to get home game, but now like recently
Hmm.
I found myself like I'm gonna hop on, stare at the home screen for about an hour, 2 hours, unless I'm recording for my YouTube channel. But even then, like sometimes I don't want to, sometimes like I just want to chill. But
Yeah.
I sometimes make myself like, oh, get on, and I end up getting on, but then I'm here on my phone doing nothing. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go chill now. Then you guys hit me up, hey, let's game, get on. I'm like, shit, I wasted how much time sitting in front of this home screen doing nothing, and I can't do the other thing I wanted to do like before I got on. So, and I know I could always say no. That's one thing too, saying no to the things that you don't want to do. Like if I don't want to get on today, no, But
Hmm.
but yeah, that's something I'm actually still working on. I'm trying to get better at.
Yeah. I think you just get better as you learn, as you struggle.
Yeah. Um.
But like yeah, so I don't know. Basically the advice there is just you have to turn it off. You have to turn work off.
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, there's jobs where it's gonna be hard to do that. Um. For for me, I personally like talking about work. And I have kind of a problem. I know with my girlfriend. Sometimes it stresses work. We kind of do the same thing, but sometimes work will stress her out. But I love talking about work. I love talking about like the like. I'm not a therapist, but I work with kids who are going through things, and I try to help them get through it. And I like the feeling of trying to like decode, not decode, but like understand someone or understand a kid or understand a person and trying to figure out how to help them. And I like that whole complexity. So I will talk to her like about work a lot, but then she's like, like she's getting anxious, and I'm like, you know what, I need to like calm down and just talk about other things or go do something instead of So I like I said, we
Hmm.
all still have to work on it, but um, yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
I think, yeah, I think just making sure that you're in the habit of not building your, you have to, you have to build like your life around like the people you care about and the things you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't be building your life around the job,
Yeah,
essentially.
there you go. Yeah, I like that. I like that very much. I like that very much. In other
And
episodes, oh,
then,
what's up?
oh, go ahead.
I was saying, in other episodes we'd have like stuff to read or whatever if you guys want more information, but we're kind of just this is kind of our first episode doing this. Talking about all this stuff. And we are gonna have, if you guys do want to ask us questions about this episode or any episode, feel free to like hit us up on Twitter, or I think, or you said Spotify lets people ask questions now, right?
There should be something like in the episode that they should be able to like leave little like questions
Yeah.
and comments.
So we'll just do that, and then let me see.
You can also I was just saying, you can go on Twitter, you can go on TikTok, um, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
um, whatever. Or sorry, not Twitter,
Oh,
X.
X. My bad. X.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there because I know, if you guys have questions, and we could explore that on another episode. That's too. If we finish an episode, we could go. Or a subject, we could always come back to it in a future episode if you guys want. But I wanted to go back to the whole work-life balance thing. Um, Another thing that could help you with that is counseling. Counseling is also, or therapy is a really good thing. I know some people have some, stigmas or ideas about therapy, but there's therapy. Therapy helps with a lot of things. And if you're at the end of your rope and you can't seem to think about different ways to acquire that work life balance, man, maybe you should, check it out. Therapy's not a bad thing.
Yeah. You can't put me in therapy. Hell no.
No, seriously,
Um,
that's a big thing right now. I feel a lot of people have a weird stigma against going to therapy, and I'm like, dude, honestly, like, I think we all need. I think we've talked about this before. We all need therapy, one
we've
way or
talked about it
another.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, but I think just going back to like the work life thing, I think some resolutions, like just in general, or it's not like a just us thing. It has to be like your employer too.
Hmm.
You can't, I don't know. You need to really find a workplace that actually somewhat cares about you, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're if you're scared to ask for days off, you probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah. 100%.
That's just not like that's not how it should be. You should be able to ask and have a conversation with whoever your supervisor is,
Hmm.
and you know, you should just understand, right? Like I mean, like obviously if somebody comes up to you tomorrow and is like, "Hey," like if your boss is like, "Hey, tomorrow," or tomorrow your boss comes up to you and is like in 2 weeks on Tuesday, you need to do this with me or whatever, it's your responsibility to not go home and then like r- schedule a trip
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks from that day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then it's also like on them to be like, hey, if you already scheduled it, they need to know like, hey, like I can't go to that because I already have this. And then they're like, okay. And it shouldn't be like a toxic thing. It should just be
Yeah.
like, okay.
Mm. No, for sure. Yeah. And then even like for us right now, we're heading to Missouri this weekend, and or the principal of the school I work at, she asked me, hey, can you cover a class at like from this time to this time on this date? And I was like, oh, hey, I forgot. Like on that day, I'm gonna be out of town. We don't get back till the day after. And I used to be scared to say stuff like that. It's like, oh no, I can't do it. I might just cancel the trip or something, or come back or try to come back early for whatever reason. And she was like, oh, my bad. I forgot you had said that. And that was it. Like that was the end of the conversation.
Hmm. Hmm.
And even it still feels weird now. You're just like, that's it. Like you're not gonna get mad
Yeah,
but
but it shouldn't be. You had
exactly.
that. You had it on deck.
Yeah.
You,
Got PTSD from it, bro.
See, I don't think I might still get nervous, but I don't think I've had that like sort of stress where I'm like, man, they're not gonna give me the days off. They're not gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because I'm a little wimp and I don't so I'm always like a little uh anxious to talk to authority. That's a whole nother fucking topic.
Yeah.
Write that shit down. But
But yeah, guys.
yeah.
Moral of the story is, take that shit seriously. Manage your work life. Take the time you need to recoup and be ready to work next time you go to work, or you know,
And everything that you need like for that to happen, it's not just like because it could be a mental thing too. You just have to like maintain yourself. If you maybe you're eating too much and it affects it. Maybe you're
mm,
not eating enough.
yeah, no, for
Maybe
sure.
you need more exercise. Maybe
Sleep,
sleep.
sleep is a big
Yeah.
one. Yeah, no,
And
that for sure.
maybe, and some people don't want to hear that. They're like, oh, like I'm good. Like, bro, just
Get your
trust me. Just get off TikTok like a couple hours earlier, bro, and go to sleep. You'll be fine.
get your 6 hours in. Is it 6 hours? 6 hours? 8 hours of sleep? Or what is it?
It's supposed to be 8, but I think 6 to 8's fine.
Good.
See, and even we're probably wrong. We should have had articles pulled up, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know.
These are the
But
first
like,
time, right? Don't judge us. All right. Anyways, yeah, guys, take that seriously. Do you have anything else to add to the subject matter? We don't have a guest or anything right now, or other sources. I feel unless you have
let's
anything,
see. Let's see.
but yeah, I think we covered quite a
Oh,
bit.
well, I have
Also,
this article pulled up, but it's pretty much we touched on everything, I think. We can put it in the description too if you guys want it. It's just a little article talking about the causes of bad work-life balance and et cetera, et cetera. Um, so I'll probably be able to send that over to you so you can just kind of put it in sources or something.
you're. But yeah, guys. Thank you for listening. We're gonna clock out on this one. Follow us on X, Instagram, YouTube,
Brother.
and TikTok. TikTok. We do have a TikTok up now. I just made it a couple days ago, so or weeks ago, depending on when this uploads. But but yeah, guys, check it out.
We'll see. We'll see. So we're going to Missouri, but I mean, we'll see if we get out an episode or something,
Yeah, we should be filming in our Missouri studio. So I
or
think
prior to maybe in the Missouri studios. Is that what you said? Okay. Um,
on the plane.
on the plane would be
Imagine
crazy. All the people next to us would hate us.
early in the morning at 5, just on the plane. All right, guys, welcome to another episode.
and they'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." But I mean, yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll keep this up, week by week.
Yeah, we're trying our best. So yeah, guys, listen. Follow Lost and Found. Shout out to him for our beats,
Yeah. Shout out
beginning
to Lost
and
and Found. Let's go.
and we will
Um,
see you. Wait, what's up? Wait,
what else? We'll put his website in the description as always, and then
yeah, I think we'll see you guys later.
yeah, yeah, later.
Yeah, later, guys. Later, dudes.